My name is Shanteria Bailey. I'll be discussing discrimination in minority families. First, I will discuss what discrimination is. Discrimination is an action or practice of a different and unequal treatment of other groups of people, usually along the racial, religious, and ethical levels. Examples of discrimination are verbal expressions, avoidance, exclusion, physical abuse, and extermination. I will also discuss what is stereotype. Stereotype is an overcomplicated generalization by which we attribute certain traits or characteristics to any persons in a group without regard to individual difference. Once established, stereotypes are different to eradicate, as several studies have shown. What is prejudice? Prejudice means prejudgment and unjustifiable and usually negative attitude toward a group, often of different cultural, ethnic, or gender group. It is a mixture of beliefs, overgeneralized stereotypes, emotions, hostility, envy, or fear, and predisposition to action to discriminate. We also will be discussing the psychology of prejudice and discrimination. The subjects that there are three levels of prejudice: cognitive, emotion, and action orientation, where some people possibly cause are self justification, personality, and frustration, aggression. Cognitive is a person's belief and perception of group as threatening or non threatening, inferior or equal, seclusive slash intrusive, impulse gratification, acquisitive, or possessing positive or negative characteristics. You will also discuss emotions, the feelings that a minority group has as an individual. Action orientation, positive or negative predisposition to engage in discriminatory behavior. We will also discuss the sociology of prejudice, which examines the objective conditions of society as social force behind prejudiced attitudes, whereas some people cause are socializations, competition, conformity to the social norm. We will also discuss where discrimination and prejudice plays a major role in television plays, in shaping attitudes and perceptions. Studies have found that television usually penetrates stereotypes as well as reaffirming viewers' attitudes. A greater interaction and education do not necessarily reduce the levels of prejudice and discrimination in society. We will also talk about affirmative action. Affirmative action is it forms its originality in 1941 through the present affirmative action programs have been controversial, where the Supreme Court rulings in the late 1970s and 1980s upheld the principles of affirmative action. But since 1989 or more, conservative court has been ruling against race conscious remedies. As evident by the program's success, it's mixed. Minority groups' opponents call affirmative action misplaced that has poisoned race relations. It has negative public opinion polls and proposed legislation suggests that real possibility of significant change is to come. What is prejudice? What are some of its manifests? We will also discuss the health of discrimination in the healthcare, education,